That was better.
It was better, but I like the OG, man. I like the original.
I couldn't find that video.
I like it better. We'll get back to it eventually.
I'll track it down.
Maybe that'll be episode 10's big hoorah. Because
we made it.
Yeah, this is episode 9. Nothing special going on here. Just a regular run-of-the-mill episode of Understable Minds. I'm Anthony. You can't tell this, but we are recording in a different spot. This might be the only time we record this show with this setup.
It's true.
By this time next week, we should hopefully have a different setup.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Well,
with the three of us.
Okay.
But
you said this show, and technically we've done a couple others.
This is the only time we'll record episode 9. Full stop.
Yeah.
This is the one and only.
This is it.
That is true.
Oh gosh, no pressure.
Right. Sitting across from me, straight across this time, is Danny Lindahl. Sitting between us, to my right, to Danny's left, Mr. Eric McCabe.
What's going on?
Typically, you guys are kind of flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Typically,
It's weird.
Eric is across and to my left. Danny's across.
I'm going to end up looking right and just talking to the void a few times.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I completely agree with you, Danny.
It's just muscle memory. That's regularly how I have conversations. I try to position myself so everybody's in the same spot every time.
Well, that's like Seinfeld. You guys are probably too young for this, but there was like, you can't go left when he's trying to like, get things going with a lady on the couch. So he always tries to jump in there and sit on her left side because he can't go right. You know what I mean? So never mind.
Oh,
you guys
about
are
putting
too
his
young.
arm? Yeah.
Yeah, about his arm or intimate relationships on the couch.
I am sure that this was a very funny.
It was a
segment
great
of the
episode.
To everybody who knows Seinfeld.
Right. There's
It
some people
was.
at home cracking up right now.
There are people that are going, I agree, EMAC.
Definitely.
And then you guys are just young kids that are probably watching
Yes.
what shows are even on.
I am a young kid. Yes.
Hello, fellow kids. Guess how many episodes of Seinfeld I've seen?
How many?
0.
Really?
Not one.
Wow.
I've seen bits and pieces and just never did it for me.
I've seen the Frolf Jerry clip like a million times.
Oh yeah.
It's not for you guys. It's more.
It's for, grown-ups, not young kids.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
We're still watching cartoons over here.
But yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Before we get into the show, I want to remind everyone that we do have a Facebook page for this show. If you want to get involved there, you can interact with us, ask questions that may get featured on the show. You may answer questions that Danny will put in there, and that could also be part of the show. Talk about the show, make fun of us, talk about how we're young kids or old men. There is no in-between, apparently. You can just do that by searching Facebook for Understable Minds Podcast. It will pop right up. You'll find us. We can do that there. Should we get into our first segment or our first topic?
Let's
today?
get into the second one first.
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah,
Okay.
this
I like
is
that.
episode 9. We're getting wacky here.
Oh,
We're going to
man.
get into episode or segment 2 first.
Okay.
Second thing that we were going to talk about is the Royal Box. Royal Box 4 released today as of recording. This will be yesterday, as most people are hearing. Could be a couple of days ago for the rest of you. Royal Box 4 was a little bit different than the other Royal Boxes. There were
Real quick, are we going to spoil anything? Are we going to say what was in it?
Yeah, it's already out
It's
there.
Because I know
It's
there
out.
are people who are like wanting it to be surprised when they open up. So
It's out there. I've seen many videos of it out there. so,
okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's out. Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to know what's in the box, then
skip 5 minutes,
yes. Wow, we're going to talk 5 minutes about it?
10 minutes,
Okay. I was going to say
15
4 minutes.
Just skip to
Come
the end
back
of the
tomorrow.
episode. Yeah,
We'll be good.
just come back for episode 10.
No, we won't be talking long.
I think this, what did they call it? A New Glory or something? They always have like a little thing for
It's a
it.
New Hope.
Maybe that's what
It
that
was
was
a
the
New
last
Hope
one.
from the last one. This
What
one was
this one? The disc is
All the Glory, maybe, or something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, so the Glory is the new disc. It's a fairway driver. It seems to be, I don't know, have you even seen or felt one,
I
Eric?
haven't
or
even touched
Danny?
it. Yeah.
Me neither.
It's
saw-
been very like when the Royal Boxes came in, they were wrapped and said, "Do not touch these. They have not been in inventory," or something like that. So typically, I haven't touched one. I haven't even seen one,
Yeah.
but I've heard it's like a fairway driver,
I've
which
heard it.
which would make sense. Which makes me wonder why they didn't come out with this in box 3 instead of the Hope, which is a putter, which they already had.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
to me, I
true.
thought they should have put the Glory in box 3 and the Hope in box 4.
Because Latitude doesn't have fairway drivers.
Well, they
Is
do,
that what you're saying?
but not in the Royal line. But they already had a putter.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same page now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a young kid. It takes me a minute to
I understand. I understand.
So
One day you'll grow up.
Right. Eventually I'll get there. The Glory it seems to be relatively overstable. I saw a video of Clint Calvin, who's a Latitude team guy, already got an ace with one.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Before the boxes were available.
A forehand, right? And San Diego.
Yeah. And it looked relatively overstable. I don't know if he just threw it on a bunch of hyzer or what, but it seems like a fairly overstable fairway. I think it seems like it's maybe not quite the same speed as like an Escape, maybe closer to like a beefy Evader, I would guess, or maybe like an Evader maybe. I also haven't been able to throw them. And then there is a new addition to box 4. There's a 6th disc where it's a mystery. Latitude sent some boxes to their team, and they sent, I'm guessing they told them, this is 5 discs. People who buy them will be getting 6 discs, because I saw a couple, like Eric said, videos about, my box has 5 discs, yours will have 6. I don't know what that is. I currently do not know what that 6th disc is.
I do.
Okay.
Do you want me to say, or should we?
Are we allowed
Let's. I think we can, but let's leave that 6th disc for mystery, since nobody really knows what it is.
Okay. I also don't know what it is.
I do, but we can. I watched them fill them yesterday. Put them in the boxes yesterday.
Okay.
Interesting.
So then Royal Box 4 still 6th disc mystery Glory.
There you go. Perfect.
That's what she is.
Wow.
Okay.
Already.
Okay, so what we were originally going to lead the show off with was kind of some exciting internal news that we still have to leave a little bit of a mystery to.
Okay.
But
yes,
very exciting stuff for the 3 of us that will be exciting for those of you listening. We had a couple of new team members in town recently. We did some content with them. We were very excited, and it got me thinking it seems like there's a lot of people making moves this year. I think Matt Bell was switching.
Bell left, yep.
Obviously, we've already signed Gavin. We've signed Matty O. I saw Andrew Marweed posted something about he's leaving.
Announcement.
Obviously, everybody knows. Excuse me. We released Eric Oakley early. So yeah, what do you guys think is the reason for? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not a bunch of people moving, but I feel like we haven't had this many moves maybe since Prodigy first came out. What was that, 20?
There was a lot. 2012.
2012?
I feel like
End of
everybody
2012.
is waiting for the even numbered years. I think they coordinated with everyone. They said, all right, 2012, let's go 10 years later. Holy cow, 10 years.
That's crazy.
That the even numbered years is when they're going to mix it up, if they're going to. I think that's obviously what's going on.
It's clearly there's some disc golf conspiracy.
Yeah.
Is that a thing, Eric? Was that in place when you were on the road? Had the Illuminati reached the disc golf world yet?
No, but when I was on the road, there was basically 2 choices. So if somebody made an announcement, hey, I'm leaving my manufacturer, well, I know where they're going.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little different
They
nowadays.
posted on MySpace back then?
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Zanga?
This might have been before. This was before internet. Like, let's be honest. Okay, maybe not that far, but it was definitely before like Facebook and MySpace. I
Reach
think
out to the local
maybe not,
newspapers.
but yeah, smoke signals. You know how we did it back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I really like Ultiworld has a player sponsorship tracker. And I always just go there, and
yeah,
it's so long this year.
Yeah,
There's just so many.
and
people
I think
making
a
moves.
lot of that is just the fact that there's more and more people on the road touring this year and in the past couple years, and contracts are up. There's a lot of contracts that are a lot of players signed 2-3 year deals, and now they're starting to. And at what point do you have to change that contract to be like your contract ends November whatever, as opposed to December 31st? Because you got to give them leeway. If you're not going to re-sign that player, you're going to have to give them some wiggle room to find a new sponsor. Granted, you can find them. I mean, you can still be technically under contract probably and reach out to new manufacturers, but the whole announcements, and it's just kind of crazy to think about, especially the further we get, these big name contracts, I kind of almost feel bad for some of the, I don't want to say mediocre players, but the players that maybe aren't finishing in the top 10 every week.
Right.
It's going to be a struggle for them to find a good deal when people are putting so much money and investing so much into, players that are consistently in that top 10.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll be, somebody had there was a squad question from someone, I forget their name, but it was something about, do we, kind of like you had said, do we think it's sustainable for the Pauls, Rickies, Eagles, like the elite Calvin, like any tournament they sign up for, they're in contention to win. Those guys and gals are making big bucks. Do we think that it's sustainable to just funnel all of the money to them, and then kind of like you had said, the second, third, fourth tier players aren't quite left out to dry? There's obviously going to be sponsors that want to reach out to them, but just throwing these huge dollar amounts at these players, do we think that's sustainable?
I mean, yes. I think it depends on the direction the sport goes, though. Because if there's more and more of these bigger name corporate type sponsorships that are coming into the sport, at what point do you think that the manufacturers are just a manufacturer sponsor, and then players are, they're getting their big contracts from Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, that kind of thing. If that were to happen, they have funding to throw at millions of dollars at the sport and not even blink an eye. So it's kind of we're in that little, like, people think our sport is huge now, but we are still very small in comparison to other major sports.
Right. Yeah. Comparing disc golf to disc golf of 10 years ago,
for sure,
it's huge.
Absolutely is.
Comparing disc golf to basketball, hockey, I don't know, maybe
horseshoes.
Right. Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait.
We might be close.
Yeah.
One thing I thought was always interesting is that, like, I don't know, a few years ago, we started seeing players sign to multi-year like agreements, and they weren't like legally binding contracts, but it was more agreements. And it seems like those are just renegotiated or renewed every year for X number of more years. And it's not like that people really care how many years they're signed up for. It's just whatever deal they can get.
It's almost like an addendum you have to put into their current contract.
Yeah. Just to do you think we'll see those become like more legally binding contracts moving forward?
Absolutely. Okay. I guarantee it, actually.
Okay. To where players can't just be like, I'm in this 3-year deal, but I also think it's very important to have, maybe not buyout clause isn't the right word, but like a clause in there that is, oh, you want to leave early? Guess what? Here's your penalty. Yeah. Because you're investing all this money and time into these players. At what point is it, you gotta stand up to your contracts, right? You gotta finish your contracts. Part of the problem is, though, because disc golf is so personable, is that, like, if you don't want to be seen as like the bad guy, if you're like forcing somebody to stay somewhere they don't want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
It's a tricky road to.
And at the end of the day, you don't want that player on your team anyway. Yeah. Right. You don't want somebody on your team that doesn't want to be there. They're not going to represent well.
Right.
But I personally think at some point we're going to have to see penalties for players leaving early. Yeah. I do. I think it just makes sense.
I guess, if it's a big enough contract, that should be in there.
So. Right. I wonder what's the point where it goes from, like Danny was talking about, where people kind of just, it's a 2-year deal, but after 1 year, well, let's talk and change this or change that, or, leave and go somewhere else or whatever, to like, that stuff doesn't happen in the NFL and the NBA.
Well, and then there's the other argument of, hey, we got this 2-year deal with you, but you played like hot garbage this year. We're not going to give you, a manufacturer would never do that. And if they would, they'd be shunned.
Right. And I feel like that's why having a legally binding contract is there to protect
keep everybody honest.
Right. It keeps the player protected, because then if that happens, if somebody signs I'll say Paul McBeth, 10 years, 10 million, just because everybody knows his contract, 10 years, 10 million. If he plays like trash and his best finish is 31st.
Wow.
Then it's not like Discraft can go to him and be like, hey,
bro,
we actually want to kind of cut this down. Yeah. We're gonna make it 10 years, 1 million.
Yeah.
Like, no, because look, this is the contract. You signed it.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't say that everyone knows his contract. I don't know that his contract is legally binding. I would assume
as well. Okay, here's the other side of that, though. What if Paul McBeth comes out next year and never finishes worse than second place? So wins every single tournament he plays.
Then Discraft is getting a great deal.
Is he going to go to Discraft and say, hey, I need more money now? And are they going to be like, hey, yeah, because the rumor was, his original deal was 4 years, 1 million. And after the first year, Discraft had already made that profit on them. So they're like, hey, we're going to do the right thing and give you more money.
Right.
So at what point do you think that would happen? Not that I think anybody could ever go out and win every single tournament they play, unless they win like the first tournament and then like, all right, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah.
100% win rate. Let's call it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing as like if the Chiefs pay Patrick Mahomes, whatever his contract was, and they go make a Super Bowl, win it, make the Super Bowl, lose, make a Super Bowl, win it. Like,
oh, sick. We're going to win it this year?
I brought you guys to the Super Bowl every single year.
Oh, man.
I know you're already giving me whatever it is, $500 million, but let's make it $600 million now or something. And then the Chiefs.
And that's tough because you're obviously, if you're doing that well and you're succeeding, you're going to get other type of endorsements coming at you, right? I mean, you're going to have other companies that want to throw you a bone. But at what point, that's another great question though. Like a Paul Macbeth, you know, back in the day, a $5,000 sponsor was huge. Like someone's like, hey, I'm going to give you $5,000 to represent. You know, for someone like Paul, who's making $1 million a year, at what point is he like, what am I going to do with this 5,000? I can't really promote you.
I would bet he's probably at that point.
Yeah, I guarantee that he's at that point.
It's probably just not worth the time and whatever all the details of that contract to make a certain number of Instagram posts and tag this and do that.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can just survive without the $5,000 and not have that stress or not have to worry about all that stuff.
It's crazy.
What about injuries? Is there like injury clauses in contracts?
Like, I've seen some, and we've done some to where it's kind of like, hey, if you're not able to play XYZ, we want you to be doing media.
Okay.
That kind of
thing. So you're still behind the player. You're giving them another option if they can't do the thing.
If they physically can't play. Okay. And honestly, most contracts in disc golf are based off sales anyway.
Okay.
So based off of how your disc sells, how that kind of thing. So I think if someone is like if Paul gets hurt and can't play, I mean, people are still going to buy Lunas.
Right.
You know, so I think that his contract is still fine. It's if that player gets hurt and then people forget about that player, that's when there's trouble.
Right. That's when,
But to answer your initial question, yes, I think things like that are going to be in contracts moving forward when you're going to start to see 6 figures guaranteed in contracts. Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder, I mean, gosh, it almost feels like that's just becoming more normal. Whereas a couple of years ago, that was like the dream.
Yeah.
Was like, I mean, I remember when the Paul thing happened, it was big because Paul was leaving Innova, but also like someone just made $1 million
throwing frisbees
in disc golf. Like that just doesn't happen.
No.
Right. But now it's like, if you're one of those top guys, like, and your contract doesn't have $1 million total value, you're kind of getting screwed. Like you're leaving a lot of money on the table, unless your contract is $999,999. But then even still, if I'm Calvin, if I'm Ricky, if I'm Eagle, I'm going to look at that Paul number and be like, look, I'm at the same level as this guy. I don't want less than $1 million.
The problem with the names you just said, none of them have 5-time world champions,
right.
You know?
Yeah. Obviously, the name recognition and the brand value behind, we'll say Calvin and Paul Macbeth are different.
Yeah.
But the play and the level of talent on the course, I mean, they warrant similar numbers.
Absolutely. And then what about FPO? Where are we at with FPO players? We saw Kristen's deal worth, what was it, 4 years, $500,000?
I think so.
Is that what it was? Something like $100,000 a year guaranteed or something like that?
It was, I couldn't remember if it was 4 or 5 years, but I remember
those candy bars.
The number.
Wait, $100,000?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Where?
The number was 5.
Was it 5 years?
It was 5 candy bars.
Oh,
sweet.
Was the number that I saw.
For throwing frisbees. Sign me up.
Wow.
Look, Danny, if you play disc golf on tour for 5 years, I will give you 1 candy bar each year.
I will give you a candy bar each tournament you play.
Whoa.
This is a negotiation we got going on here.
Okay, gotcha.
Who are you going to represent?
I'm sticking firm.
Are we talking king size or like?
Oh, king size, of course. Of course.
Okay, naturally.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, the FPO side it's weird because like it feels like the sport is exploding, but it's hard to evaluate the FPO side because we know that Paige and Katrina have been dominant on the US.
Absolutely.
And like you were talking about.
So is Kristen.
Right.
This year.
Well, right. While she was here, Kristen did great. But like you were talking about earlier, if a player gets injured and then they're kind of out of sight, out of mind, I feel like Evelina and
Henna.
I always forget Henna. I always want to call her Helen, and I know that's not right. Evelina and Henna have been over in Europe, and they are just as good as those two. But because they're not getting featured at Disc Golf Pro Tour events, at national tours.
And they played. Right. They didn't one of them win Waco before the pandemic, like right before the pandemic?
You might be right.
I thought one of them did win Waco, or maybe they were in contention.
I know, yeah.
And then they had to leave, and then
because
it was 2020 or 2019 maybe.
Because Kona won this year.
Evelina won.
Kona won this year.
Won Memorial one.
2021. I'm talking 2020. Who won 2020 Waco?
That's a good question.
That's the one. I think it was Evelina.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because I think
or Henna. I think it might have been Henna actually. Because I think they both won. I was
say it was Evelina.
I thought they both won, and then.
What year?
2020.
I remember Evelina won Memorial, but that was 2019.
Henna, I thought Henna won the next one, but maybe not.
I'm furiously Googling.
Yeah, because I this is just what's in my brain. I feel like when they've been stateside, Evelina has had better performances.
I think you're right, but I thought she had a win. Average. I thought Henna had a win. Maybe not.
You might be right.
Either way.
But still, yeah, it's hard to... they obviously, we were talking about Kristen, and Kristen was mostly in Europe last year. She was able to come for 8 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
And
I did hear rumors that there are a lot of FPO Europeans and MPO as well coming to the States.
The search on the PDGA next year sucks. All I can get is the DDGA Central Open in 2020.
Try looking up the Waco.
I typed Waco 2020. I've typed Waco Annual Charity Open. Everything I can figure out.
Just go to the event page and then go back to March of 2020.
Evelina won it.
Okay.
How did you do that so quick?
Just Google.
Oh, rather than the PDGA website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Evelina won. Henna came in second.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. They were both there.
Right. Yeah, Evelina won at 4 under. Henna was second at even. Sarah Hokum came in third at 5 overs. So they
domination.
They kind of ran away with it,
and then they had to leave, and then they've never come back.
Kind of a good way to go out. It sucks to have to go out.
Yeah, it's a crappy time to go out because right before the boom kind of thing.
Well, that's the thing. I wonder. We were talking about contracts. I wonder what their contract situation either is like or is going to be like, because they're absolutely deserving of a number similar to Katrina, Paige, Kristen.
Absolutely.
But they haven't had the cameras on them, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I wonder what that
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see this season. I'm very excited about this season.
Yeah. Do we know, are they going to be able to make it over and tour full time, or is that, I guess it's kind of just all still up in the air?
As far as I know, yes. Kristen is planning to be here for 90% of the year.
Nice.
So
that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to talk about that the internet kind of talked about quite a bit was
rightfully so.
Yeah. So the Disc Golf Pro Tour has been giving out kind of the year-end awards. Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, things like that.
Is there a Most Improved Player?
There was.
I'll be darned. Go on.
It was me.
Oh, sick.
You guys didn't see their post?
No.
Oh, I'll have to reach out to him and see what the
Didn't Kyle Klein?
Kyle Klein was the MPO. And then was it Missy that won FPO?
She won Player of the Year.
She was Player of the Year. Was she also Most Improved Player of the Year?
That'd be pretty sick to win both.
That would be very impressive to win both.
I don't think so, though. I think it was...
Kyle definitely won on the men's side.
Just go to the DGPT.
Yeah, it was.
It was her? She
Missy
won both?
Won Most Improved,
good for her. That's pretty impressive.
Trying to think of somebody that was more deserving, because she definitely had a great year. Not that she was bad before, but she had a really nice year this year.
Well, winning the Throw Pink event and then the disc golf finale and Des Moines, I think, of the 3 events that she did win. Those are 3 pretty solid events to win. I mean, especially the last 2.
Right.
If you're going to do it, those are the ones that do it.
And same goes for Kyle. He had by far the best year of his career.
Yeah.
Shocking, because he's had probably 3 years of his career.
And this is probably the first one full-time touring, right? Did he? I assume. I don't think he really full-time toured last year.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, I know he's played events before.
So did he win?
He was most improved on the men's side. Yeah.
Okay. And then player of the year was Missy and then Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
And then rookie of the year, which is the most controversial one I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. So it was
Gannon Burr. Did he really? No, I'm just kidding. It's not Gannon Burr. Gannon Burr absolutely deserved to win rookie of the year. The kid's a beast. Loved watching him play out there. But JK, Juliana Korver. When I saw this, I had to look at my calendar to make sure it wasn't April. I am not kidding you.
What is going on?
Yes. Like, I get it. The criteria was like play less than 3 events or something.
Yeah. So the Pro Tour said the award is given to the player with the highest number of points who has less than 3 Disc Golf Pro Tour starts over previous years.
Okay.
So she meets the criteria for the Disc Golf Pro Tour's Rookie of the Year.
If you've got 5 world titles tied for the most world titles in the history of the game and you win rookie of the, like, is it a slap in her face or is it a slap in who should have won its face? Or is it not a slap in the face at all? And this is well deserved. I mean, there's that side of it too.
I can totally see it because the Disc Golf Pro Tour is a different organization from the PDGA, and she's won PDGA World Championships.
Yeah.
There is no Disc Golf Pro Tour World Championship to win.
Correct.
So, yeah, like she's not a rookie to disc golf. She's not a rookie to touring disc golf, but she is technically a rookie to the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And
this is like a concrete thing, right? It's based off points. It's not like opinions. It's not like people voted on her or something like that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's not a popularity contest.
I don't know. I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall around that table though when they were like determining who it was going to be. And then it's like Juliana. And then if there was even anybody at that table that said, hey, should we do this? You know,
I feel like that conversation definitely happened.
I hope so.
I think it's hilarious. I think this whole thing is so funny.
Do you think would you have been the guy that said, are you sure we want to do that? Or would you have been the guy that been like,
but then like,
yeah,
I would have thought it was funny because like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Just tell her no, be like, you met all the criteria, but nah. Like, and then give it to somebody else. That would be, I don't know. I feel like it's a catch-22.
But if you've won world titles, do you really care about a rookie of the year?
Probably not. I'm sure she's excited about it because like, cool, she won an award.
Yeah. Off of play. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying she didn't deserve based off of how she played, because she played phenomenal this year, but I think comeback player of the year would make more sense of an award to give someone like that. That's got
for
200.
Sure. It doesn't make sense.
200 wins and 5 majors.
That's where the entertainment value comes in.
Been playing for many years. Has her name on a lot of discs.
Yeah. The rookie part of it is weird.
Yeah.
That's the part that makes it weird.
Yes.
Because she's anything but a rookie to the sport. I'm looking I'm trying to find who would be the next finisher. And so far I've scrolled down and Stacy Ronsley. Yeah. She had
Rom? I think it's Ronsley, right? Yeah.
I have no idea.
I think it's
you know
Ronsley.
her, right? You know Stacy.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Ronsley or Rounsley maybe. I'm not 100% certain. She had 3 Pro Tour events before this year.
Okay.
So I think she would have missed the criteria. So maybe hold on.
What about Ella Hansen?
That's literally who I'm looking at. Yeah. Okay. So if it's not Stacy, then it would have been Ella Hansen.
Okay.
If the cutoff, the Pro Tour says has less than 3, so then Stacy would have technically been disqualified from it. So it would have been Ella Hansen, who finished in 24th in points.
And she had a heck of I think it was U.S. Women's, where she was on lead card the entire time. Had a great finish there.
Yeah, I mean, she finished the year really strong. The last 3 Pro Tours she played, she finished 7th, 10th, 3rd.
She was on, whose card was she on that I was following? I can't remember. Maybe Macy Walker at the time, at Throw Pink, and I watched her throw a couple shots out there, and she mashes the disc. My goodness.
She plays Ultimate, right?
She does, or did. I don't know if she still does. Probably not if she's playing disc golf.
Probably not professionally anymore, yeah. So how do we think, do we think that came up in the decision of, okay, if we don't give it to Juliana because she doesn't meet the definition of a rookie.
Because she's won Worlds 5 times.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes. All of the other things that she's done for the sport. Yeah. Do we then give it to the person who
I guarantee that conversation happened.
Right. So
I hope.
What would you do? Would you give it to the 24th place person, or would you give it to the person that technically by the definition won the award, but they're just absolutely not a rookie?
I don't know. I'm glad I'm not in that position to have to make that decision, because I saw it and I did think it was a joke, because I don't know. I just felt like it was disrespectful, personally, and it seems to be
to Juliana or to Ella,
to potentially both.
Yeah,
to potentially both. And I get it. It is the Disc Golf Pro Tour. They're not the PDGA, who has those other titles for Juliana, and I'm sure Juliana has won Player of the Year numerous times. I assume
for PDGA.
Yeah, I assume so. I mean, is she not in the Hall of Fame? that would,
if she's not, that's more insulting than anything else.
That decision right there would make me not give her the Rookie of the Year if she's in the PDGA Hall of Fame. Which, how is she not if she isn't?
Right.
Yeah, it says Hall of Fame class 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so she's been in the Hall of Fame for 14 years.
Then yes, my decision stands as I would have given it to either Stacy or Ella.
She's been in the Hall of Fame for almost as long as the men's Rookie of the Year has been alive.
Fact.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's really funny.
Yes.
Okay, so does it change your mind, or does it change your opinion if I tell you that Gannon Burr, who nobody's arguing he was deserving of the award on the men's side, he came in 21st for men's points? Does that change your opinion on, we don't want someone that far down in the points standings?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. Yeah. I mean, if that's where, who was close to him? Who was like... Yeah, I don't know if you can tell that off what you're looking at. You probably can't, but I can't think of another MPO player that would have qualified for that. I mean, there's a bunch of them out on the road, but I can't off the top of my head. I can't think of anybody.
Yeah,
but yes, he deserves it, and not that Juliana doesn't deserve it, because she deserves an award for how very well she played this year.
Right,
but not Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. These opinions are not the same as these guys or Dynamic Discs.
I don't know.
Or maybe Juliana Corver.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they did the right thing. I think she deserved the award. Mm-hmm. I think she meets the criteria for the award. It's just a very funny interpretation because, like Danny just said, she's been in the Hall of Fame for 14 years.
14 years.
Her Hall of Fame status can almost legally drive a car in the United States. And she's being awarded a Rookie of the Year, not retroactively.
No.
For the current year, she's being awarded Rookie of the Year. I think it's funny, but I think if their definition is someone that hasn't played 3 or more events, she hadn't played 3 or more events.
I think there needs to be something in there.
Yeah. Like at a certain amount of winnings,
or when and when was that announced? When was the criteria announced? That's the other thing, because if it was announced at the same time or just prior to it, you probably could have done something there, right?
Yeah, sure. So if it was announced somewhere publicly or privately before, I don't know about it, but I saw it literally in the Instagram post of the winners. Mm-hmm. Obviously, people were talking about how did she win this? She's not technically a rookie,
right?
They put that and they said this was the criteria. It has to be given to the player with the highest number of points who has less than 3 Disc Golf Pro Tour starts over previous years. So it's not even like you could play 2, come back the next year.
They should have just said I mean, I don't know. I guess it is what it is. I guess it would have been better if they just said more than 3 Disc Golf Pro Tour events or PDGA majors. You know,
I wonder if that'll change. Excuse me, since now they're merging everything. I wonder.
Well, they did that next year, right? That's when they're doing it. Yeah.
Right. So
those are NTs though. Those aren't Disc Golf Pro Tour are not running majors.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm wondering if they'll add a stipulation for.
I bet they
NTs.
will after this. Because I heard rumors that Des Redding's hitting the road next year, going to play some more events, and she would probably qualify and probably win.
She would probably have
How funny would that be?
Just back to back.
And then Elaine King, and then
I think Elaine's played more than 3 Pro Tours.
She has. She absolutely has.
I feel like
she played a lot last year.
3.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I don't. That's a good question to ask, but I don't know.
Give me 20 minutes. I can look it up on the PDGA website.
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah, I got you.
Stat boy, Danny.
Yeah, we will have an answer for you next episode.
Next month, we will let you know. Right before they announce the Rookie of the Year.
Right before Des wins it next year, Danny will be able to tell us that she is not eligible.
Yeah. Oh, man. That is funny.
All right, let's jump into a quick squad question or two. Do you guys want... I did a couple of disc golf questions. I took a couple of non-disc golf questions.
One of each.
One of each? Okay, Danny, pick a number between 1 and 5.
3.
Question.
Right in the middle.
3, yes. This one comes to us from Joshua. Joshua says, can we set up an online Dungeons and Dragons campaign for a podcast that could be called Dynamic Dungeons?
Ooh.
I feel like that needs some sort of like
Bump, bump,
something underneath it. Yeah. And it could feature the three of us doing silly D&D things.
I've never played D&D, but somehow my TikTok feed is just D&D stuff. And it's hilarious. Like somebody will try and throw the trash away and roll a die and get a 1 and then like miss the trash can and also fall over. I don't know. In goofy stuff. I'm interested. I don't know. I've never done it before.
Okay.
Seems like fun.
I'm interested in trying. I haven't played a whole lot of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I played a little when I was younger.
Okay.
But nothing like crazy.
Yeah. I've played D&D one time and I liked it. I had fun. It was very, like Danny said, it was chaotic. It was definitely a learning experience.
What class were you?
So I was
there's a lot of them I know.
Yeah, I was like some sort of a sorcerer, like a rogue sorcerer or something. And I had this thing where I forget what or how I got it or did it or whatever, but it was called chaos magic. And every time I did anything, I had to roll a 100-sided dice. And whatever that landed on, there was a list of 100 things. Some of them were hilarious, where it would just like, I would have birds flying around me for the rest of the time. Sometimes it was where I became minuscule and I was now 3 inches tall. Some of them were like, you know, my damage for my next attack is quadrupled and I'm the strongest thing in the world.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting. Very fun. Our accountant Shane is a
huge D&D guy.
He actually kind of is. He has been, so he and I play Magic together all the time. And he's played D&D far more than I have. And he has been trying to set it up for a long time. It's like, we need to do this. We need to do this. So much fun. So much fun. So Joshua, there is potential. We'll call it plausible.
I'm trying to think which one I would be. I'm just reading through all of them right now. I kind of like Paladin looks interesting, or like just a bard so that I can make up songs and sing.
There you go.
That would be fun.
Nice overstable disc.
Yeah, there we go.
You could also throw plenty of hyzers, just in like the 300-foot range.
A range or something. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting for sure. Do you know what you would be, Mac?
I have no idea.
No clue. Okay.
I'll let you pick for me.
All right, Eric. While Danny's picking your class, pick a number between 1 and 8.
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one comes to us from Gabe. This is a more disc golf centric question. Gabe says, are there any new discs you're working on that you can discuss? Yes, there are discs that we are working on.
No.
There are no longer discs that we're working on. Our lineup is what it is, and it will be this way forever.
That is not true. We have a bunch of Frisbees coming out next year. Oh my goodness.
It's
our 10-year anniversary.
Right.
And I think it's out there that we're coming out with the Supreme line, the Trespass, the Escape, the Fugitive, and the Judge. So those are 4, and those, in order to do that in the air quote, Royal or Supreme line, those have to be new molds because of the way they're manufactured, the plastic, all that fun stuff. So it has to be a new mold. So those are going to be 4 new molds. Plus we have 2 other new molds potentially that are coming out, you know, Trilogy Challenge. We always do something. And then we have another one that's coming out. I don't think we've talked about those yet. Correct. Those showed up today though. Did you guys know that?
I knew that one of them showed up.
The other one showed up today. So
that's all the time we've got.
We got to get out of here, guys. So, and then something else came in today too that I was very excited about. That will.
Is this another Frisbee thing?
Yes.
Okay, so there's plenty of.
Yes and no to answer your question. So I answered 4 of the for sure molds, and then the other whatevers we'll talk about
just whatever
in a couple weeks.
Plus,
yeah,
there's 4 plus molds.
Maybe not a couple weeks, couple months.
Okay. Sometime between now and when we talk about those.
Yeah. One of the next episodes, so make sure you tune in.
When Danny finds out if Des Redding is eligible.
Perfect.
All right, Danny, you've got a couple of random questions.
Yes. Okay.
Hit me.
The one random question that I had as we were trying to come up with topics, and it's the off season, and so I just do you want the Facebook Discord question or do you want?
You pick.
Okay, the Facebook Discord question. I've been asking these questions on Facebook, but then I remembered we have a Discord server, and I'm trying to do more there, so I posted it there too. So I'm going to go ahead and read all of the answers that I got from the Discord server. There's one of them.
We'll put the answers. So
we'll put the link to the Discord in the show notes, and then we can also put it in the Facebook group.
Yes, well. It's kind of a. If you don't know, it's kind of more like structured more like a chat room rather than a comment structure like on Facebook. So I don't know. I like it better for having, conversations with people rather than arguing in comments. Hayden responded, and he said he wants every disc ever made naturally.
Oh, cool.
A flight towel, which is like a towel that has like a piece of a disc on the end so you can have resistance on your hand, a whale sack, a hat, a new set of putters, and a putter pouch. Seems like a pretty solid Christmas list.
Heck yeah.
It's hard to shop for disc golfers because like people always think, I'll just get them a disc. There's a lot of options when it comes to discs.
What plastic? What weight? Do they like a certain color? Do they want
domey, flat? Who knows?
Right.
On Facebook, Travis wants a new episode of the podcast.
You're welcome, Travis.
We got you, Travis.
Merry Christmas.
A lot of people want baskets, like practice baskets. Somebody wants a mini basket. That's pretty cool. Dave wants people to know how to throw their trash away on the course.
Same. Agreed with Dave.
And then some more people want retrievers. Nothing really goofy. I got a heated vest one year for Christmas.
Sick.
Yeah, you plug in like a USB phone battery thing to it, and then you can it's so toasty warm.
Yeah.
Why don't you ever wear it?
Because I don't go play disc golf in the cold anymore.
Well, you still go outside.
That's true. I always think, I'll tough it out this time, and then I regret it. I do not tough it out.
Yeah.
I wimp it out.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
I need one of those.
It's
Doesn't that sound
nice.
awesome?
Yeah.
I need that.
Like for Friday night flights.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Or Hops and Heisers.
There was a Hops and Heisers one time. This was a couple years ago. Where, Derek used to run it where you had to play a certain number of events to qualify for the final. And I needed like 3 more weeks, and there were 3 weeks left until the final. So I had to go. And it was me and one other guy who was in the exact same situation who needed to play all of them.
And if you don't play them, you got to pay.
Well, if you can still pay for the weeks that you don't make it, but if you don't play more than half of them, you're not
qualified.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we had to play, and then we were going to pay for the 6 that we missed or whatever it was. And so it was 4.
Nice.
4 degrees outside.
Nice. That wasn't the New Year's Day round, was it?
No.
Were you there for that one?
Mm-mm.
I think it was 0.
That sounds awful. It was. I remember it was
the first round I ever played with Taco and Mike Smith.
You should have just taken that as an omen.
Oscar was my foursome. I remember.
Wow.
Crazy.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Go on. I'm sorry.
It was 4 degrees, very windy. Hops and Heisers normally starts at 11. Derek is very good about being there early.
At like 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually things are close to on time. Derek rolled in at about 11:15.
Oh.
And he saw that it was the 2 of us. And we were like,
man.
Hey, since we're the only ones here, neither of us want to play in this. Can we just
I'll
say
give you $5 and
yeah, that's literally what we did. We were like, can we just call it good? We both played, and we can just come back next week because we don't want to play this. So we did. We all just went back home. It was the easiest round I've ever played. Jones West shot a perfect even.
Sick.
In and out in about 15, 20 minutes. Froze the whole time.
Hops and Heisers is fun.
Yes.
You've never really played Hops and Heisers, have you?
I have a few times, but then it gets cold.
Okay.
Right.
You got to get them far this year. It's been great.
Yeah.
And even Friday night flights has been. Last week was a little cold because it got a little windy.
Yeah.
But, when you're on top on holes like 1, 2, and 3, that area, it's kind of miserable. But then the rest of them, 4 through 9, you're kind of down in those woods, and it's kind of peaceful and kind of warm, actually.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I highly recommend you guys checking it out sometime.
Every year, like when the off season rolls around, I'm like, yeah, I'm a fair weather golfer. I'm not going to go out and play. I'm just going to stay inside. But then I always convince myself to go out and play, and I freeze and regret it every single time.
Danny, you have a vest.
A heated vest.
It's not hot enough.
Oh, get 2 of them.
Layer them up.
Yeah. Get a heated jacket.
Heated socks. I've seen those.
Yeah, more. Or I could just stay inside.
That's true. Or I could just use the heat that I'm already paying for at home.
That's true.
But then you don't play disc golf.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, we've got a couple more.
Okay, so this
was... is there anything disc golf that you guys are wanting? I would like a putting game.
Oh,
Just like an inside the circle putt would be great.
Yeah.
Hit me up.
You were
Santa.
jamming them in the wind yesterday.
Ooh.
I made 2.
Yeah.
In bananas wind.
It was
stupid crazy wind. The video just posted 30 minutes ago as we're recording this.
Nice.
So
very cool.
go check that video out on the YouTube channel.
I saw a little bit of it on Instagram, like the reel. Did you put it out on a reel too?
No, it's just feed, but
okay, yeah. It's a little bit of it. It looked fun. I wish I was there. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Which we need to do that. I talked to you about it. The starter set at Olpey Lake.
Oh yeah.
In the crazy wind.
And the winner is whoever has the disc the longest. So
because you're not coming out of there.
No, and we're playing stroke and distance. So if you throw OB in the water, then you have to rethrow. And all you have is like 3 discs, right? And they're all prime. Like
the first water hole's hole 5.
5. But you can play out to the right. You can play safe. So you can go for the green first and then play safe on your second shot.
Just jump putt everything.
But can you imagine only having a mid and a putter and like 40 mile an hour wind? No.
The last starter pack challenge that we tried to film, we couldn't post because I did so bad. I threw Heiser flip rollers.
That's the idea on this one.
I guess,
you're gonna play bad.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that'd be a fun video.
That would be.
Let's make it happen.
Hilarious.
Next time it's windy. We just have to wait for a windy day now. Probably shouldn't be that long.
At this rate, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, let's do. Do you want to do more of your questions, Danny? We did 2 squad. Let's do 2 Danny's.
Okay, so this wasn't a question that I asked on Facebook. This was just a question that I wanted to ask y'all and just talk about. They were really popular a while ago, and I guess they're still probably pretty popular. This is life hacks. I see them all over Facebook. I just sit there and just watch the videos. There are some good ones. One of the good ones that I saw was, like the liquid detergent and like the thing where you push the button and it falls out. Just keep that over your washer if you have a top loading washer, like in the shelf there, so you can just press it and go. You don't measure it, but like who measures that anyway?
Yeah.
Batteries, you can bounce them to see if they're good or dead. I using a fork to eat Oreos.
Wait, what?
Wait, the batteries one?
Does the battery bounce if it's dead, or does it not bounce if it's dead?
It bounces, but then it doesn't work anymore.
You bounce it and then you kill. Oh, now this one's dead.
Oh, that one's dead.
I don't remember. I don't remember if bouncing is good or bad.
You would think it's not good, right? Because you would think it'd be. I don't know.
I believe if they don't bounce, that means the batteries are still good. I think they still have charge.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
But I don't.
And you guys probably don't remember the old batteries where you had to squeeze and like.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
And it never worked.
I had those on my Game Boy.
Yeah,
it's my brother's Game Boy, but I broke it because I hit a marble like it. That was a tennis racket.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely.
Yeah, that'll do it.
4-year-old me was not very smart.
Most electronics.
Anyways, that's apparently a good life hack. Using a fork to eat Oreos. I dunk my Oreos in milk and I put a fork in the cream, in between the cookies.
Yeah.
And then dunk it. I can fully submerge and like watch till the bubbles stop.
Oh yeah, drown the thing. Mm-hmm. That's a classic.
And then when you're microwaving things that like French fries or pizza, it tends to dry out. If you put a glass of water in there, that helps keep it nice and moist. So those are pretty good life hacks.
Those are good life hacks.
Do y'all have any life hacks that you use?
Man, we had this one.
This is very ironic that you bring it up.
It is.
Yeah.
Which you'll hear about my life hack in a few weeks, but no, I don't really have a life hack.
I'll tell Danny the one that I told.
Yes.
Our other special guest.
Yeah.
All percentages are reversible.
Oh yeah.
So like 50% of 20 is also 20% of 50.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So if I had known that when I was a child in school, that would have helped me a lot.
You should be a teacher.
At a very, very fine
Just flip it and the math is easier. Yeah.
Right. Also, you're thinking about putting a glass of water in the microwave. Did you know that you're not supposed to put your food directly in the center of the microwave? The little thing that spins, you should put it towards the outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because microwaves have like hot, kind of like a grill. It has like a hot and dead zones. And if yours has a dead zone right where you put your food and your food's right in the middle, then it's not going to get hot. But if you put it on the outside of that ring, then it's spinning in a wider...
Yeah, it's moving more.
Right. It's
so it's
going
to cover it.
And then it's not going to be in dead zones. It'll be warm even throughout rather than biting into hot lava or ice.
Mm-hmm.
Double dip
ice.
Sweet.
A hot cup of ice. Is
hot lava ice.
So also while doing research for some life hacks, I found some that are just actually insane. And I would judge anybody who uses these. Either because it's more work than it's worth or it's just a bad idea. Okay. The first one that I came across that was actually like a lot of places is like putting pancake mix in an old ketchup bottle. Like you get a ketchup bottle, you finish the ketchup, you clean it out, you put pancake mix in it, and then you use that to make pancakes without like having to scoop it. first off, it's not that much work to scoop it.
Or pour.
Like you get two drips, and those are mini pancakes, and they're delicious.
Pour it too. You don't have to scoop.
Yeah.
Time out. I think you guys are missing something here.
Okay.
How long does pancake batter last in the fridge?
If you cover it, as long as it wouldn't a ketchup bottle.
No way.
But who leaves a giant bowl of ketchup?
No way, dude. I leave ketchup lasts like months.
Yeah.
You can't have pancake batter in your fridge for months and still think it's going to be good.
Well,
right?
I mean, like,
there's eggs in it. There's
pancake
eggs
batter
and
in a ketchup bottle is going to stay just as long as pancake batter in a bowl covered.
Right.
That is correct.
But do you leave a bowl of pancake batter in your fridge?
No, it does take up more space.
No,
How often have
I
you...
typically eat every pancake that I make.
Exactly.
Like all the batter that I make.
What if you wanted to just fire off 2 pancakes real quick? I'm not going to get out the mix it all up, dirty up all these bowls. If I just have
when you could just go to IHOP and order pancakes.
Okay. I'm stuck at home, Eric.
That's my life hack.
But this one might have legs. I think this is more of a...
Oh, so you agree with this one?
I think this is more of a not having to mix pancake batter life hack than it is
Okay. I have a counterpoint.
ease of making pancakes.
The taste of ketchup does not come out of things that held ketchup.
Okay. Potentially true.
Okay. What about a mustard one then?
My family eats
Even better.
eats more ketchup than you think they do. Like if you're like, wow, they eat a lot of ketchup, it's probably more. Like when we were kids, we went through lots of ketchup. I am very well acquainted with the flavor of ketchup.
You and Patrick Mahomes.
And if
Think of a lot of ketchup and then double that.
that's
Yeah.
exactly
That's
how much
Danny's.
ketchup
And
I ate as
then
a kid.
more than that.
I have tapered off as I've gotten older.
So you don't do as much ketchup now?
Not as much ketchup, no. But when I was a
Let me
kid,
ask you this.
I could
do you
put
eat
a
ketchup? Do you eat ketchup every day? Do
No.
you put ketchup on something every single day?
not
Hold on.
How
I
many
was gonna
times
say,
a week?
No, we're not anymore.
When I was a kid and in high school, absolutely.
Every meal.
Okay. When I would get French fries, like the little skinny French fries, I would fashion them into a scoop as I would eat so that it could even more ketchup.
So you wouldn't just put the ketchup, like
Not
shots
just-
of ketchup to fry and
No,
then
I'm not a
shots of ketchup?
psychopath. You gotta have something to go with it.
Oh, man.
But those pancakes are going to taste like ketchup. Full circle here. There is not a way that those are not going to taste a little bit like ketchup.
Did you put ketchup on your pancakes when you were a kid?
No.
Okay.
They put it on the eggs.
I believe that.
Actually, no.
Good.
No, a lot of people do
hash
that.
browns a little
I'm
bit.
not
Hash
into
browns I could tolerate.
Yeah.
Hash browns are good.
Ketchup on eggs.
I don't
Get me
think,
out.
I personally don't think ketchup is a condiment for breakfast.
That's fair, actually. Yeah.
I don't like ketchup. On
I like
almost anything.
spicy
also,
ketchup.
I've never put ketchup on steak. Right, like that's
please
just
don't.
crazy. There are people who will, and like I'm
Well,
not
that's
one of those people.
To be fair, if you're putting ketchup on a steak, it's the steak, not the ketchup.
That is true.
It's you're putting it to cover the nasty steak that
Yeah,
you
you probably messed up on the grill.
Yeah.
Okay. Ketchup tangents aside. The next like life hack that I thought this one wasn't like just for crazy people. It's just not going to work. This is if you don't have a wine opener and or like a bottle opener, you're trying to open a bottle of wine, just put a screw in it and then use a hammer to pull the screw out.
Oh, the back end. The claw hammer.
The problem is the reason hammers are able to do that is because they push down against something, right? And if you're on the top of a bottle of wine, there's nothing to push down. Like you can get maybe a 1/4 inch out because of the edge of the wine bottle, and then you're stuck. There's nothing. You have to grab it with pliers and get a friend to pull it or something like that. It's just not going to work.
That's true.
And people are out here like sharing. It's like, oh, it's such a smart tip. No, it's a dumb tip because
This
you're
is
going to
why
look dumb.
you should store your wine in old ketchup bottles.
Naturally.
And then you just pop the top, take a little squirt, you're good to go. Like a Gatorade bottle at the side of a hockey
there you
game.
go.
Who doesn't have boxes of wine in their fridge?
The last one that's like just a terrible idea is it's like if you're going to the beach and you want to hide your money, put it in an old chapstick tube. Like clean out the chapstick and then roll up money and put
like
it in
a
the
dollar bill?
Yeah, like dollar bills.
Well, good luck fitting a quarter in a chapstick bottle.
Yeah. Also, the problem is I've never had chapstick for more than 3 days.
No, yeah, it's always gone.
And I would hate to lose, instead of like $1 chapstick, the $50 bill that I put in there as well. Like,
Right, and then even if you don't lose it, now it's just slimy.
Gross.
You have a moist
you
Not to
tried it out
mention,
first.
wallet.
I don't carry cash.
that's true. Yeah.
You know,
I don't.
this day and age, at least, I don't. There's really no need for cash. You can use a card anywhere almost.
I don't have a bank in Kansas.
You don't have
Same.
a bank?
I've moved here like 3 years ago, and my bank is still in Arkansas.
My bank is Bank of America, which we used to have in Kansas, in Emporia,
In all of America.
and now we don't.
Yeah.
So Now I just have a mattress that I throw all my money in.
Is this what it's like? Is this what it's like having like an offshore bank account, just an out-of-state bank account?
Exactly. It's
same kind of thing.
Exactly the same.
As long as they have a good app, I'm good.
Right. That's why I do it. I get to feel like a billionaire.
That's
right. It's in escrow. It's all it's offshore.
Nah, bro, it's in escrow.
Foreign stuff. Yeah.
Where are you going? I got to go to the bank. I'll be back in 2 hours.
See you tomorrow.
The bonus is I don't feel obligated to stop any bank robberies that I see around here because it's not my money.
Get him.
Right?
Yeah. What? Like if it was your bank, you'd be like, hey, let me see some serial numbers real quick, because if any of those are mine, I'm gonna be upset.
Also, there's like bank robberies all over the place.
Yeah, it's a really common occurrence in Emporia. Just daily, I feel like I walk up to a bank. It's not my bank, but I just see some guy in a ski mask running on out of there. Bag full of money. There's dollar bills flapping.
That's Kansas money. I don't need
70 mile an hour breeze.
Wow.
Gosh. Well, that was a really stupid segment, and I apologize for that.
I enjoyed specifically the ketchup conversation.
That was worth it.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's do one more. We'll do one more non-disc golf and one more disc golf question from the squad, and then that will be the time that we've got. Do we want to start with disc golf this time since we did non-disc golf?
Sure.
Danny, number 1 through 7.
7.
7 comes to us from Steven. He says, if you could have one hole from any course in your backyard,
Oh my God.
which hole would you pick?
The driving range hole from Blue Ribbon Pines comes to mind.
The driving range hole?
Just so there's a field so I can go practice.
Oh.
I also don't have a backyard.
That's true. So the longer hole that you think of here, the better, right?
Yeah, just
so you get more land that way.
From a real estate perspective, yeah.
That's a great question that I don't think I've ever had before.
Yeah.
Man.
I think the one that immediately came to mind for me was hole 17 at Blue Lake.
Okay, I'm glad you said that and not Winthrop.
That was second on my list.
No, on your other list.
Yeah, of holes if I could never play a hole, just write me down for par.
Yeah, Blue Ribbon. Okay, which one is it? Not Blue Ribbon, sorry. Blue Lake. Which one is 17 at Blue Lake?
It's the long, I don't know if it still is a par 5.
Like the dog leg, right? Where it's...
Sort of. It's the one that when they played Worlds out there in 2014, Paul eagled it twice.
Yeah, okay.
And to that point, it had been eagled 0 times. And he did. It's kind of open. You want to throw like a 500-foot laser beam.
Yep.
And then, curves
and then
to
dog
the
leg
left.
to the left or the right?
It cuts to the left. You have to, there's like a gap in some trees.
Yeah.
It's like another tunnel shot, but straight, probably another 400 feet in the basket.
I remember that now.
To the
I
left
played
on the
this
hill.
at the Worlds in whatever year that was. I remember that now.
Yeah. That was the one that came to
good.
mind because it kind of gives you everything. It gives you an open shot. It gives you a wooded shot.
That's smart.
The basket's on a hill. There's a bunch of trees so that you're probably going to be throwing different approaches and things like that. Man. I feel like that would not be my favorite hole. If I had to pick a favorite hole in all of disc golf, I don't think I would pick that one.
That's a good point.
But I think if there was just one hole that I could play, I think it would be that one.
I have a couple that come to mind, and it's really hard to just narrow it down to one. I think I'm gonna narrow it down to 3 real quick. Okay,
that's not the question.
I know. I don't care.
Sorry, Steven, I tried.
So hole 14 at Maple Hill comes to mind, so I can have a pond to fish in.
Yeah, is that the one where it's just the water carry?
From up top.
Yeah,
I would lose a lot of discs in my backyard, but I have a pond to fish.
Invite people over to play and then swim afterwards, and that's how you get discs.
I'd have a net at the bottom.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's one. The other one that I think is my true one is probably hole 1 at Disc Golf Terminalen. That
was the other one I thought of.
The par 6.
Yeah, that's just a driving range off the tee, isn't it?
It's not.
Oh.
The driving range is further down. No, it's not.
Okay.
This is like a big turnover first shot that's like 400 to the opening to the next dog leg, and then from there it's like another 400 to another dog leg right, and then it's another like 300 feet down. So it's like a par 6. It's a legit par 6 too.
That's what the Albatross Rivers, I think they were?
It is. Albatross Rivers. Because someone threw it in from like 380, 390 or something like that.
Yeah.
That hole it's phenomenal. It's such a good shot shaping hole. And you get a big turnover in the woods. You get a hyzer. You get a straight shots too as well. So that's my other one. My other one is hole number either 16 or number, I think it's 14 at Meyer Lake. Either one of those two would definitely be on my list.
16 is very good. You'll have to refresh my memory. 14.
I don't remember.
13?
The one
elevated?
after, it's the one after the 5K, 10K hole that we did.
That's 13.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
That one, there's definitely one in the long tee when that's built up and finished, and then through the gap, down the hill. It's just such a pretty hole.
Hole 16 is a really good answer too.
Yeah, 16 is a fantastic hole.
I think is my favorite hole. Or it's hole 11, I think, where you're in like tree cover, but there's always just a kind of opening in the trees, and the sun is just always right on the basket.
On the basket, yep.
That one's just
sick
super
too.
Picturesque.
Oh, any hole at Meyer Lake, it's just a spectacular place.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool spot to be. We've got a non-disc golf question now.
Okay.
Number 1 through 4, Eric.
2
comes to us from Scott. This is a bit of a different one. Scott says, I'm retiring from my current career in 6 months and will be starting anew. What is your best advice for trying to decide what to do for a career in your life?
Ooh.
My advice would be get really lucky and get offered a dream job and then take it, and then you're still working it 5 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're not wrong. I think it's find something that you love and makes you happy.
I don't know. I've heard the argument. I don't know if I agree with the argument, but I've heard the argument that like, if you have a hobby, you don't want to work in the industry that your hobby is, because then you'll get burned out and you won't like your hobby anymore.
I could see that.
Find like your second biggest hobby.
Yeah.
And then hate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can deal with that.
It's something that like, because if it's something you do in your free time and your work time, then you're going to get burned out.
Yeah, but
quick.
if you truly love something,
that is true.
It's different, right?
So, I don't know, just something to
That's what I would say. I would say find something that you really love and you're passionate about. If you're passionate about something, it doesn't really feel like work.
That's a big thing, would be find something you're passionate about. I'm curious, would your advice change if, depending on Scott's age, you knew how old he was? If this was a 20-year-old kid, would it change versus if it was a 60-year-old?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah. Never too late to follow your dreams.
I have no
That's
idea.
a quote. Put it on a disc.
There you go. I think my advice would.
Would it?
If
So you're like, if you're 60, just find something for a couple years.
Take whatever's going to
flip some burgers.
Yeah, whatever's going to pay you the most amount of money. Do that for about 5 years till you can retire.
Whoever has the best retirement plan.
Yeah, if you're like close to retiring.
And then follow your dream.
There you go. Yeah, and then rent an RV and travel the world. And
maybe he doesn't want to travel the world. Maybe he just wants to chill in a basement.
Hey,
I've
spent many an hour
Dungeons and Dragons.
Basement. Not playing Dungeons and Dragons, but I wouldn't be against the idea.
Yeah, same.
Do we have one more thing from you, Danny? Did you want to close out the show, or do?
I think that's too big of a rant.
It'll be too.
Nope.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
You want to go on it?
I want to rant right now.
You want to rant? Okay. So years ago, when I was like learning math as like a kid or whatever, they had this
with ketchup.
Naturally, we would draw just with ketchup.
Well, it was a side of ketchup.
Yes.
Just a bowl next to
in case we like needed a snack in the middle of it,
or a drink.
Like you have a bucket on the end of a rope, and you put a ball in the bucket. You spin the rope around, the ball stays in the bucket. And they're like, it's centrifugal force. That's why it stays in. And that's what everyone said for like a few years. And then all these people started saying, no, it's actually centripetal force. Because that's the wrong word. Centrifugal force doesn't exist. It's actually centripetal force, and made everyone feel dumb for calling it centrifugal force. But now, it's not centripetal force. Centripetal force is something different entirely. Centripetal force is the rope pulling back on the bucket. It's a force towards the middle. If that force was acting on the ball would fall out of the bucket. But it's not centripetal force. It is a centrifugal force. It's force going away from the center, but it's inertia. It's not a specific force away from the middle. It's just the ball is trying to stay in the bucket because of it's going sideways and the bucket's curving in front of it.
So is that the difference between centrifugal and centripetal? Is the direction that it's going?
Yes. Centripetal is towards the middle. Centrifugal is outwards. But people say centripetal force when they mean centrifugal force.
So where...
I just say force.
That works too.
Yeah.
The force.
The force.
Mm-hmm.
Where in here does whichever law of whatever it is, where for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, where does that come in? Because now wouldn't the centrifugal force pushing away from you then also cause a centripetal force pushing back towards you and then create just a wormhole that opens up and eats everything?
That happens later.
Oh, okay. Dang it. My sorcerer is not to that level.
Yeah, you got to level it up a little bit.
Then Des Redding walks out of that wormhole.
Just like
holding a bowl of ketchup.
Full circle here, everybody. Full circle.
I don't know. There was something a video that I posted and somebody commented, it was like the centripetal force while a disc is spinning pulls the rim towards the edges. And like That doesn't make sense at all. But also, it's not freaking centripetal force. It's centrifugal force.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right that it's not doing this because it's not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. But also, side note, like a little asterisk, it's not centripetal force. It's centrifugal force.
This is also why
I have a bigger issue with this than the disc golf thing that's wrong. There was a video that I saw a while ago that was a skateboard wheel, I think it was, and they blew on it with an air compressor to make it spin. And it spun really, really fast and like it tore itself apart and flew into pieces. And I thought that was really cool. And then the guy who posted it said it's a wheel torn apart by centripetal force. Freaking no, it's not.
Actually, sir.
Centripetal force is what was holding it together. Centrifugal force or inertia is what tore the wheel apart.
Did you leave a comment?
Did you roast him?
I didn't, because I know that somebody's going to be like, centrifugal force doesn't exist. Like, no, it's not actually a force directly away from the center, but it's inertia.
Okay,
and
so
it's
wait,
not.
How does it not technically exist?
Because there is no force like that's directly pulling the bucket away from the middle. Technically, the force is sideways, but by the time the bucket is pulled, the rope has turned.
What if there's no rope?
Then it would continue to fly sideways. That's the idea, right? So if centrifugal force or centripetal force is pulling the bucket in, and if that rope gets cut, the bucket doesn't go straight away the direction that it was, right? Like if you're swinging it and the rope is straight up and you cut the rope, the bucket's not going to go straight up. It's going to go to the right.
Unless you're on the moon.
Okay,
we're not on the moon. You already got to pick 3 holes to have in your backyard. Man. Quit.
Okay, my bad.
I don't know, actually. I'm a dropout, okay? But I care a lot about this.
Eric just broke Danny live on air.
Yes. Mission accomplished.
It would go sideways. So
I'll get you some ketchup.
The inertia is sideways and the rope is pulling back, but the rope pulls back to curve the bucket. And it's the bucket curving in the way of the ball, not pulling back on the ball. As I understand it, which is wrong, probably. But like, all I know is that it's not freaking centripetal force.
Right.
Can't wait.
I
for
may
the
also
comments.
be wrong, but this part's definitely wrong.
Like I'm wrong about something that's less important than the centripetal force thing.
If that doesn't perfectly summarize this show,
yeah,
I don't know what more could possibly do
it's
it.
definitely an understable thought that I have about it, but
I love it. I love it. If you haven't already, like I said at the beginning, join our Facebook group. Just search Understable Minds on Facebook. You can join the squad at squad.dynamicdiscs.com. You can join our Discord at the link attached in the show notes. It's a very long URL. Well, it's not a long URL, but it is a
strange.
It's not a verbal friendly URL. So we'll put that in the show notes, and it will also be in the Facebook group as well. Check it out. Thank you guys for your time.
Yeah, thanks.
Pleasure.
See you next week with some Des Redding updates.
I'm excited to see someone correct me about the centrifugal thing.
Okay.
Because I'm right, but I'm not all the way right.
I like it.
Get them, guys.